Marilyn was a comedian before she was a food writer, and the wine writer NatalieMacLean was a competitive Highland dancer. Not that doing the sword dance prepared her for becoming a wine expert later in life, except for the fact that she competed against lots of men, and the high-profile wine world is full of men. As a woman, Natalie is an exception, and she's all about great taste at low cost, and her most recent book is Unquenchable, a tipsy quest for the world's best bargain wines.
NatalieMacLean.
NatalieMacLean, Sheila Rogers.
Sheila.
How are you?
I'm good, dear. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and I'm so glad we can talk to you.
Yay, yes.
Natalie, the opening section of the book is called A Nose for a Bargain, and in this book you travel the world on a quest for bargain wines. Tell me now, dear, why is a bargain so important to you?
Well, I come from a long line of Scots, but let me not stereotype right off the bat. I think, I'm a maritimer, so, we have a good nose for a bargain, and I just think you shouldn't pay more for pleasure than you have to. And these days, I don't think you have to when it comes to wine, so that was my quest.
Well, I can't believe people actually ask you to recommend a great wine that costs less than $5.
Right, and my answer is, if all you want is a wet tongue, sure.
Yeah.
There is a limit to these things, but no, I think you can get great wines these days. Between $10 and $15 is a good safe range, and I think it's pretty affordable. And, wines has improved so much, including, of course, our own Canadian wines, but we've got lots of choice these days.
Natalie, how much difference in taste is there between, say, $15, $20, and $25 a bottle?
I'm hard-pressed these days often to tell the difference between those price ranges. I think it depends on the region where the wine is coming from, their cost base, if you will. And I think a lot of people are fooled these days by, if they do a blind taste side-by-side of even a $15 and a $30 bottle. And that was kind of the premise of the book, trying to find wines that taste twice as expensive as they cost and figuring out why do they, what makes a bargain, what factors go into it, and also exploring, the people behind the bottles.
And where did you go in the world to find the best value?
Well, there were so many choices. I really could have gone to many more regions, but every chapter is a different region. So, there's Germany and South Africa, Argentina, Portugal even, and there is one chapter there on Niagara. I do think our wines are a bargain, and that's why the next book is going to be completely about Canadian wine.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be the great Canadian road trip, but we won't be doing drinking and driving. We will drink, stay overnight, then drive.
Beautiful. Well, in the meantime, you've got, this is the paperback version of Unquenchable, a memoir and a travelogue, and you've got wine and book pairings for each region, which is just so wonderful. And then at the end of the book, what you do is you do that with a number of Canadian novels, which I know you did just to get on our program.
Yes, yeah. I'll try anything, Sheila, really. No.
It worked.
Yeah, well, the feedback really was, when the hardcover came out, people loved that. Like, there are a lot of book clubs, so-called book clubs, that I think are really about the wine. But, I think drinking wine and having a sip on something nice is just such a lovely way to spend an evening or an afternoon.
Well, let's go with a couple. Okay, Natalie, as you mentioned, you're from Nova Scotia, so you include a classic from the past, The Mountain and the Valley by Ernest Buckler. What would you pair with The Mountain and the Valley?
Well, Nova Scotia is a burgeoning wine region, and I'm really excited because there's so many new wineries down there. There are several different ones. There's Benjamin Bridge, which makes spectacular sparkling wine, a Moscato. A lot of the wineries in Nova Scotia are around the Annapolis Valley, and they've got a great climate and soil down there, so they really do make for some lovely pairings.
Okay, now, your parents are from Cape Breton, and you've included the Cape Breton writer Lyndon McIntyre. Which of his books and what wine?
Okay, well, I'm back to Benjamin Bridge again. I'm not trying to stagnate here, but he wrote about the Canso Causeway, of course, that connects the mainland to Cape Breton. And so I thought, Benjamin Bridge, because they do a lovely sort of effervescent, just slightly effervescent wine that reminds me of the ocean spray whipping up on your face as you cross the Canso on a windy day. So that just came to mind immediately.
True to your school. Okay.
Absolutely, dear.
And finally, one of our columnists here at the Next Chapter, Catherine Gildner, you've got a wine to go with her memoir, Too Close to the Falls. And of course, you've got all of Niagara. But what did you choose?
Well, there are just so many choices there. One that comes to mind is by Anne Sperling's Southbrook Winery. She makes a lovely organic wine. She's also a winemaker in BC with her family out there. So she would definitely come to mind. But of course, with the Niagara Falls, again, I'm thinking kind of sparkling. I might even go with Henry of Pelham. They've got a great bubbly called Catherine Brut. It's named after their grandmother. Lovely sort of frothy effervescence to it that would be great as you're standing and looking at the falls.
Well, as I sign you off, I am raising a glass of Glen Breton Rare from Cape Breton, and I'll be thinking about Fall on Your Knees by Anne-Marie MacDonald.
Exactly. If you have another one of those, you definitely will.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you too, Sheila.
Bye, Natalie.
Bye-bye.
Natalie MacLean is the author of Unquenchable.